up, guys? We have a banger for you today. What we are going to do today is this video came out. This is a CNN poll. So keep in mind, this is CNN. CNN. The same people who had the death ticker for COVID. The same people, okay? These are the people who told you that we should fund Ukraine. These are the people who told you that Biden was sharp. These are the people who told us if we didn't take a shot, we should be sent to camps and we should be dealt with and we should have a season or a winter of death and something, right? Like, these are those people. These are the people that killed 140 million chickens during the Avulu flu or whatever it was called in February of 2022, and now they're complaining about egg prices like it's this guy's fault, right? Like it's this guy's fault right here. Like this guy was the president in 2022 who killed all the chickens. Oh, this is CNN. One of the largest arms of propaganda of, well, USAID stopped funding them. So, yeah, they're saying this. They're saying this. So what are the true numbers? I don't know. Let's watch.
You know, I'm a big fan of the oldies. And when it comes to the feelings that Americans, voters at large, and Democrats have, I can't help but think of Chubby Checker. Why is that? Because the question is, how low can you go? Voters' views of Democrats in Congress, the lowest ever approval ratings on record.
All voters, damn near 70%, disapprove of the Democrats. Now, it may, and here's the beauty of Trump. So I know that there's going to be people who watch this who hate Trump, and that's fine. I don't agree with everything Big Donnie does either, okay? Because I have a brain, and I have two neurons that fire, so I use them. But this example that I'm going to give is why he plays a different game than you. He called their play at his State of the Union address. And you'll remember this, right? He called their play. He said, they're not going to stand no matter what we do. They won't stand. They won't do it. I could cure the most incurable disease. They would sit. Right? And he called their play beforehand. Remember, this was the people holding the signs that said, I'm retarded, right? Like the entire speech. These are those people, okay? Then they're also doing the Tekken TikTok, right? Or the video I made with the Wicked Witch from Snow White, right? Like, here, my pretty, eat my apple. I'm hip, right? Like, just the most cringe shit. And then they think that this is a surprise to them. But that being said, Big Donnie did that. He called their play. Then what did he do? He paraded parents of murdered children who he dedicated things to, bills, parks, centers, funds, etc., and the Democrats didn't clap. After these people's children were murdered by the illegal immigration problem that their party caused, period, the Democrat Party caused the illegal immigration problem. It is undeniable to 99.999999999% of people who use the neurons in their brain, okay? The other, apparently, 21% don't have that. But that being said, keep in mind, I voted for Obama twice, voted for Trump 3 times, okay? I will vote both sides. If RFK would have ran, I would have voted RFK. If he would have ran Democrat ticket, I would have voted Dem. Okay, now, luckily he didn't this time, but I think he may next time, right? Like, he may in 2028 because he's got to be a leading candidate if he switched sides. Imagine what would happen to the liberal media if RFK ran against J.D. Vance. Who do you pick? Who do you pick? Or Tulsi Gabbard ran against Candace Owens. Just watch their heads explode, right? But at the end of the day, here's the truth. Here's the truth. He then brought a 13-year-old boy who was a minority, who has been battling brain cancer and had more surgeries than he is years old, and made him an honorary Secret Service member, and they still didn't clap. And then CNN reports 70% of people disapprove. So what's the real number? Come on. What's the real number? Half of the Democrats don't even approve of their own party, and it's their party. See, here's the thing. When you play childish high school bullshit games, okay, and you use all of your outlets, like these channels, to like say Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, and everybody goes to work. And everybody goes to their job, and everybody's making less money, and everybody's like, we don't want our kids in schools with these like being told that they can mutilate their dicks without our permission. We don't want our kids, we don't want men in women's sports. We don't want our little girls having to compete against men. We don't want drag shows in schools. We don't want illegal immigration in unsafe cities. Everybody agrees with this. So this number, what is it really? What is it really? This number, what is it really? These numbers, I believe these, but these numbers, I think it's 100% of whatever's left. I think this is probably closer to 79%, and this is probably closer to 60%. Because they have lost all common sense and all credibility. They have no candidates. They have no. Their number one candidate right now is Stephen A. fucking Smith, the basketball analyst. That's their number one guy right now.
Per Quinnipiac University, look at this. Approved 21% among all voters. Look at the disapprove level. Holy Toledo, 68% of all voters disapprove of how Democrats are doing in Congress. Now, you might think that is low, and this is the lowest number on your screen here, down at 21%. But I want to bring you over here to how Democratic voters feel, because this is truly unbelievable. Amongst their own party, how do Democratic representatives, senators, how are they viewed? Get this, the plurality disapprove at 49%. More Democrats disapprove of the job that their party is doing in Congress than approve. Get this, only 40% approve. These are truly horrific numbers. They are in the trash bin of history. That is how low these approval rates.
The guy on CNN just said, you're the trash bin of history to the party that pays him. Uh-oh.
Ratings are when you can't even get plurality approval among your own party, you know you're doing something wrong in the eyes of the American public, Jessica.
They are in the trash bin of history. Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do Democrats then want out of their congressional Democrats?
So here's the thing, guys. What you have to understand is like all the things that I've talked about this entire video aren't the straw that breaks the camel's back. None of them have broken the camel's back, but the camel's getting pretty fucking heavy. Okay? And then on top of this, you have Elon Musk, who they're calling every name in the book, for simply stating and transparently showing line item by line item, but no one actually wants to go to the website and look. Line item by line item, the things that they're checking into for fraud. So let me get this straight. You hate Trump so much that you would rather pay more taxes while they steal them and they get rich off you working your ass off. You would rather do that than have Trump. No, you wouldn't. You would rather have more money. You would rather have less taxes. You would rather have smaller government. You would rather not have people scumming and stealing from you. That would be equivalent to somebody coming in your house and saying, I want 30% of all the shit in your house. Well, what are you going to give me? Nothing. I'm going to take it. I'm going to make sure that pothole out front's fixed. Well, that pothole to fix is only like $1,000. I checked, and that's like $50,000 worth of shit. Yeah, I know, but we have a special contract with them, so it's actually $50,000. And then you go to the contractor. What does the contractor do? The contractor goes, yeah, it's $1,000. Well, here, they're going to write you an invoice for 50. You keep 10. Give me 40. Okay. Magically, welcome to our government. Everyone's sick of it. Both sides. The problem is these elected officials are so fucking dumb. They're so fucking dumb that they can't see that in order to get reelected, they have to wake the fuck up and say, hey, I don't like Trump for this and this and this, because we can't ever get rid of I hate Trump, right? But I do agree that we need this and this and this, and I would do it this way so that we could do this and this and this. These are the ways that they need to be performing, and because that's what it is, politics is a performance, okay? Those are the kind of things that they need to be saying. They need to be taking all the things that Trump wants to do and say, this is how we would do it so that it's for everyone, right? And use the same shit, because what he wants to do in line item by line item, if you base it down to a sentence, right? Not the way he says it, not all the bullshit, not because it's him, just sentence by sentence, everyone agrees with most of the shit. So then just take the sentence and say, yes, we also agree with this, but we think it would be better this, this, and this because of this and this and this. That is how they should be attacking, not this, because this is going to allow them to never win another election. Because here's the thing, guys, if you go look at the states that Kamala Harris won and the votes Kamala Harris received, a majority of them were from states that do not have voter ID. So when you can fraudulently vote, what does that mean her actual numbers were? I would say they were worse by far than what they reported on channels like this. So if you don't think that before the midterms that they're not going to put massive things into all these states, and all the red states are already going to do it, but you don't think that all of those things, and magically, when is Doge supposed to be done? Oh, July of 2026 for our 250th year anniversary. You don't think there's going to be more patriotism then than any other time in history? You don't think that the Republican Party is going to have so much momentum, it's going to make people sick? You don't think that's what they're waiting to give us checks for? You don't think the Republicans are going to try to buy all the votes with the tax money they stole? You don't think they're going to do that? Really? You really don't think they're going to do that? Because that would be the play I would do. I would say, hey, now here's the problem is the way that Trump's framing all the fraud and waste, he acts like it's only the Democrats who did it. We all know both sides are getting fed that tax money of ours, and it's a corrupt system. We know this, but the man pointing it out happens to be a Republican. So therefore, their natural inclination is going to be to blame the other side. Right? That would be, if you were in a competition against the other side, that would be how you would do it. You would say, well, they're wasting all this money. Why aren't these people saying all this? Oh, well, they're getting it in their pocket. Well, why aren't these people saying, oh, well, when we get in, let's just call them all out on their shit. And then we'll make them look really, really bad. Right? That would be the strategy you would use. If you had a fucking brain. And you don't think they're going to build off this. You think this is Trump's plan? You think what, 45 days in, that's all he's got? You think he's built billions and billions and billions of dollars in net worth? Playing one move? Playing two moves? No, dude. The smarter you are, the more moves ahead of your opponent you are. In a chess game, you're 17 moves ahead of this idiot. He could do this or this or this, but I already have this and this and this set up. So if he does this, I do this. If he does this, I do this. And then I win here, 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 and here. That's how you play the fucking game. That's what business is. You play the fucking game. You just have to have rules so you know how to play the game. It's the same thing in video games. It's the same thing in business. All of it's the same. What are the rules? How do we make currency? Build our character. That is life. That is gaming.
Yeah, what do Democrats want from their own party, right?
Yeah.
Do they want them to agree with Trump more, or do they want them to oppose Trump more? Okay, Democrats in Congress oppose Trump too often, just 4%. How about the right amount? Just 19%. How about not enough? You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know that this is the largest number on your screen. 77% of Democratic voters say...
And this is where CNN turns back into CNN. He's completely wrong. He's completely wrong. He's completely wrong. And this is why they'll continue to lose. Because of what I just said, I'm not going to re-say it.
That their party in Congress does not oppose Donald Trump nearly enough. So you might be thinking to yourself, with this shutdown that did not actually happen, where the Democrats gave Trump and the Republicans the votes, I can tell you with pretty much no doubt that their party, at least in the American public, does not like that. They want them to fight Trump more. When you get 77% of your own party agreeing on something, you know.
I said it before. I'm going to say it again. It's not about opposing Trump because you can't oppose common sense. It's agreeing in principle, but saying we want to do it with this and this and this because we think that together this makes more sense. And if you do that, you will see change and you will see popularity grow with the Democratic Party. Because what's really important, what's actually important for your party is to be popular enough to win. In order to be popular enough to win, you have to have a strategy that's based on policy and procedure so that common sense middle America votes for you. The problem is they don't know what to do because Trump can't run again. So Trump bad 2028 doesn't work, which is why they have no candidates, which is why they have no possibility of fucking winning, and which is why they don't stand for anything, which is why their approval ratings in the shitter.
That is the direction that they wish their representatives and senators in Congress in Washington actually went.
Interesting. And had there been a government shutdown, would it have hurt Democrats among all voters?
Right. So we're talking about the
question.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Because amongst Democrats, we know that they wanted their representatives and senators in Washington to fight Trump more. But what about the entire public? Because sometimes there's disagreements between those two sides, right? And if perhaps they had forced a shutdown or they had not given Republicans the votes, that might have actually been something bad amongst the overall public, right? That might have backfired amongst the overall public. But in this particular case, I think the Democratic base was in the right position here, at least when it comes to the American public. Because
well, that's your opinion.
For a government shutdown, just 32% of voters would have blamed the Democrats in Congress. Look at this. 53% would have said Trump or the Republicans in Congress. Democrats would not have been blamed for a shutdown.
It wouldn't have mattered.
The numbers that we have seen. Now, an actual shutdown might have played out a little bit differently, but at least on the polling data that we have, Jessica, everything was saying that Democrats should not give in to Trump and the Republicans in Congress. They should have, in fact, taken a stance because that's what their base wanted, and the American public would have sided with them as well. The bottom line is Republicans and...
No, they wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have. And here's why you're wrong. The Republican Party does not give a shit. All it would do would be to strengthen the argument for every Republican, which is these people are literally trying to shut down the government while we're trying to make it smaller, and they're pissed off because we're taking all the money they're stealing. Because that's the narrative that Fox is spitting. That's the narrative that Trump and Elon are spitting. That's the narrative that the entire right is spitting, is that all this fraud and all this waste is the left's fault. Now, people with firing neurons know that it's both sides' fault. It just happened to be Trump who's calling it the fuck out. So therefore, you are incorrect, sir. You are incorrect. It would have looked even worse for the Democrats if they would have done this, because it would have looked like they were crying and that's how they would have spun it. They already knew the story. Fox already had it ready to go. Trump already had it ready to go. He was expecting them to do it. That's why he didn't say a word about it. That's why you haven't seen shit, because he's sitting there going, they just gave me that? I didn't have to run all this stuff that I'd already made? Cool, let's go kill ISIS. Like, he's literally just doing, like, imagine if G.I. Joe was it's just America, 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 America. Everything he's doing is straight America, okay? Which goes to his party. The problem is your party is approved at 21%. Everyone fucking hates you because you're literally you're not even considering the things that most people are mad at. Get men out of women's sports. Everyone wants that. Except for the 203 retards who voted against it, who will not get voted back in, by the way, unless they're in states that don't have voter ID. And if you don't think by midterms the Republicans will have that shit fixed, you are out of your mind. Because that's coming next. Term limits and voter ID. That's going to come right before the midterms. And you know how they're going to move it through? By bribing the American people with the tax dollars that they've stolen from us. That's what they're going to fucking do. Period. Because that's the play I would make. Hey, how do we get all these people in our corner? Let's give them money. Okay, great. Let's give them a bunch of money. When should we give it to them? Well, right now, yeah, we'd go up in the polls, but people have the memory of a fucking moron, so they're going to forget in 2 months and 3 headlines. So let's wait with the money until we need their fucking vote, and we'll buy the votes with their own tax dollars. That's what I would do. Because when you play with stupid people, you have to play by stupid people rules. You don't get to play by smart people rules when you're dealing with stupid people. And we've seen through COVID, through Ukraine, through BLM, through all this bullshit, through masks, through vax, we've seen through all of it, people in large groups are fucking dumb as shit. So whether you like that or not, that's the truth, and we've proven it time after time after time after time over the last 4 years. So, no, they're not going to give us money right now. They're going to give us money when they need us, which ain't right now. It'll be in 2 years. When they stop Doge, probably the day that they shut it down. He'll probably announce it on July 4th. That's probably what I would fucking do. I'd be like, happy 250th birthday, America. Here's 10 grand a fucking piece. See you in November at the fucking polls. And then do the fucking Ken Jong right in their fucking face, flick off the Democrats as he walks off the stage, and just Conor McGregor walk fucking off. That's literally what I would do. And Trump's smarter than me. How do I know that? Because he's accumulated more than me. The fact that there's people who literally call Elon a fucking moron when he's the only man on earth, just so you guys know, if you didn't see it, he just saved people from certain death in the space station because there's no one on earth who could go save them except for that guy. But you guys call that guy stupid. Okay, take your rocket, go save, oh wait, you're stupid compared to Elon. And again, I don't like everything Elon does. I don't like a lot of the stuff that Don does. I don't. But at the end of the day, like, I'm still pissed about the Epstein list. And we ain't going to get it. And I made a video as to why. But at the end of the day, to act like they are stupid intellectually shows that you have zero brains inside of your head and zero self-awareness to not say, well, let's look at my life. What do I have? Okay, well, I have food stamps, I have a job, I make 40 grand a year, and I have zero skills that allow me to make more money, because if I had the skills, I would make more money because I would be more valuable. So how do I get better as a human? No, instead, you say, that guy's a fucking idiot. The rocket scientist who is the only man on the planet to save these people, who's created more companies, who's the richest man in the world, even though they are tanking his stocks, he's still the richest man in the world. And you think you're smarter than him. That's not even arrogance. That's mental retardation, is what that, like, that's literal, like, that's Warren baseball shit.
And Trump would have been blamed in this case, not the Democrats in Congress. I'm honestly not quite sure exactly what Chuck Schumer was thinking, at least when it comes to the American public and the blame game.
That's all I got, guys. That's all the video is. All the YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe. By the way, I don't know why the reel that I made on the ice raids is going viral, but thank you for that. It's got like 200,000 views already. Like, it's going bananas, and it was just an off-wing thing. Obviously, thank you so much for that. It's what blew us past 2 million views. It's actually going to get me monetized here as soon as the monetization calculator goes through and re-updates, because it hasn't been updated since the 12th, and that's the day I put that video out. And that video has enough hours watched just by itself to literally monetize me. So I'm going to apply for that the second it's available. Thank you guys so much. That went way faster than I thought. The more you like, the more you comment, the more you subscribe, it truly does